Hello folks, very warm welcome to another video here in the Microsoft Sim. This, what's this bloke doing? Get out of the way, mate, I'm trying to make a video, dopey. Hey? Oh, bloody hell, you got a mate as well. Is that Jude? Jude, is that you with a suntan or what? Or is that a different character? Have I just offended this poor hapless AI rampagent? Probably. I've offended both of you. Oh, well, suffering you. Hey! Hey! Bloody hell. And come charging at me like that. You're not going to come charging, mate, are you, you coward? You're bloody hiding behind your little Duvalaki here. Hey, looking all fancy. Yeah, walk away, love, walk away. Folks, welcome to another video. None of this is scripted, folks. Which makes it all the more concerning, doesn't it? Welcome to what will probably be the last video. This year, at least, on my little channel. Kind of struggling of late to make the old videos, to do some flying. A few reasons for that. Performance of the sim is one of them. Not too happy, Jan, with how the sim is performing of late. Lots of stutters, lots of big pauses, really ruining the immersion. But anyway, I'm going to try and get through a video. I've got a nice little journey lined up. Now, welcome to a very, very ordinary Auckland International Airport. Well, I should say, the airport is fantastic, and this is a payware rendition of it, and it's fantastic. What I mean by ordinary is that it's a pretty ordinary day weather-wise, hey? We parked down the end here, right down the arse end of the field. The main action sort of happens up there. That's where the terminal is. Down here's cargo and GA and all that maintenance and all that sort of jazz, and that's where we find ourselves. And we find ourselves once again in the TBM 930, now with an avionics upgrade, and that's kind of the focus of the video, I think, for today. Well, actually, there's two focuses. Foci, is that the correct pronunciation? I don't know. Foci. I don't think I've ever said that word in my life. Jude's on board, but she's not on board. It's one of these situations where you're going to need to use your imagination. If you really need some help to get through the day, imagine that Jude's sitting here. Okay? With the avionics upgrade, actually, let me get some avionics sorted for you, hey? Let me get some stuff on. Come downstairs. The new Garmin G3000 by working title, the beta, has arrived, and yes, the old fella has opted into the beta. Not something I typically do, but I couldn't wait for the new avionics. I love the G3000, and I'm really impressed by what I see. New avionics also, and a new kind of well, it's a whole brand new aircraft, the CJ4, and those of you that have the premium deluxe edition of the sim also get the longitude. Citation longitude. That's been very well received, I see, as well. Yeah, so that's the one of the purposes of this video. Just kind of have a look at that. Isn't it nice, eh? Working title. You've done yourselves proud there. Currently in beta. You need to opt into it. Need to go into. I've got the Steam edition of the sim. Needed to go into Steam, opt into the beta there. It downloaded an update, and then you come into the sim itself, and there was another update there as well. But yeah, that's the process. Pretty straightforward. Should be available for general release early next year, I would think. But working title have been busy this year putting together this stuff for us, and we are grateful for it. Let me show you where we're going to today. You know where we are, being Auckland, New Zealand, frequent visitor to this part of the world, and picked up this this payware rendition in a recent sale. This in Wellington, and I really wish I could remember who the developer is. They're well known. We've got someone landing over there or taking off, hard to tell. Real-time traffic sorted out. Anyway, let me show you our route for today. So, little nav map is forecasting a flight time of 2 hours and 6 minutes in the TBM today. We begin our journey up here in Auckland, North Island of New Zealand. We'll fly departure of some description, probably off 05 right, looks to be the go, and then sort of make our way in a generally southerly direction, sort of overhead Raglan, and then over the Wanganui National Park, sort of crossing the coast here. What's the name of a place that I can remember? I don't know any of these places, but you can see for yourself. Waipipi Beach, I like the sound of that, and Mana Bay. So in between that, overhead, the good folks of Waverley. If they happen to be down at the track today, they'll see us. Well, probably not. It's a bit cloudy and we're going to be flying high. So that was a complete waste of commentary. Anyway, we're going to cross the ditch there, overhead Nelson. Love flying into Nelson, Tasman Bay there, and then basically splitting the South Island right down the guts, overhead Arthur's Pass National Park, beautiful spot, and then down into, eventually, Queenstown, down here. That is the plan. We'll fly a published approach. We'll fly a procedure of sorts. We'll probably improvise, but I'm going to try and plug in a procedure because it's now available in the avionics and it's pretty bloody good. So that's the plan. I've got to plug this route in because the new avionics doesn't seem to import the flight plans properly, or at least not on my rig anyway. So I'm going to have to do that. I won't bore you with that. You'll next hear my dulcet tones as we are making our way onto the runway at Auckland. Alright, I probably said we were going to take off 05 right, which means of course we're going to take off 23 left. That's where the prevailing traffic is operating today because the wind has changed since I arrived here earlier. Seeing some aircraft spawn. Quite disconcerting when you're kind of approaching the holding point and suddenly you're surrounded by an AI model. You find yourself inside another aircraft that you didn't want to be inside of. We've all been there though, haven't we, hey? I'll try and refrain from too much inappropriate talk. I don't have Jude to interact with, so that should help. What's this? Is this an A380 or something? Or is it trying to, or an A340, or what's going on here? This looks like an A330 in front of me. What is that? What's that aircraft over there supposed to be? Hard to tell. I hope he gets moving. I'm following this bloke down to the end. I'm also trying to keep us on the taxi line at the same time. Always a challenge. Now I've made it even more challenging for myself, just because I can. It's a sim, who cares, folks? Hey, have a bit of fun with it. We are getting along at a fair old clip here. Onto the brakes. Come on, Davey, get moving. That is trying to be an A380, right? A double-decker thing, I think. Anyway, one thing I've noticed, so when you install the new avionics kit here, the recommendation is to disable any mods that you may have. Now, I've been flying with the TBM improvement mod pretty much since it was released, and we've had another spawn. Oh, it's a spawn fest. Yeah, I've been flying with the mod for a long time, and you kind of get used to things, like you get used to the flight model of the mod. Now, I don't know whether I've never flown a TBM. I don't know whether the flight model was accurate, but the flight model in this thing without the mod, so we're talking about the default aircraft that's been upgraded here by Working Title, it flies differently, and I'm still getting used to it. It's very clean, I find. A bit of a, like, it takes a bit of doing to slow it down. I used to be able to get away with a lot of stuff, I found, using the mod. I kind of had a way of, as we wait for these buggers to bugger off, I had a way of flying approaches which, I don't know, I can't fly the same way. I have to be, I don't know, should I say I have to be a better sim pilot to get the TBM sort of configured early enough. Otherwise I find myself approaching about 20 or 30 knots too quick, flying the same sort of way that I used to. So I've had to adjust that. This feels twitchier as well. Like, I've got the same controller settings, but this thing feels noticeably not twitchier, but more sensitive. I had the controller settings dialed right in for that other mod. Of course, getting rid of it. Yeah. So there's the consequences to be had. Not complaining, just observing. Those of you that fly this aircraft and are used to the mod, you're going to notice a change if you get rid of the mod in terms of how it handles and performs. But on the plus side, you get all this kit. This is fantastic. Loving this little. You can split the display. I love that, and you can actually see the map here. Helps a lot. Can we get any closer than that? We can. Look at that. Absolutely fantastic for that situational awareness, particularly on low vis days. Which, well, the vis is not too bad. It was pretty ordinary this morning. I flew in here from Hamilton in this bird, but yeah, really helpful. And then, yeah, being able to split stuff and show traffic. The weather, there's a fair bit of weather happening in this part of the world. There's our flight plan plugged in all the way down to Queenstown. Looks like the weather may improve as we go on, but then again, that may just be a limitation of the weather. Yeah, I've only got the radar out to 250 miles. I don't know whether that'll make a difference. I'm not sure. We'll go for the heaters while we're here. And have we got some room to take off? Yeah, we do now. So yeah, here we go, down to Queenstown, folks. I hope that if you guys are running the very late, well, you have to run the latest, don't you? You don't have to run the beta, I suppose. But Sim Update 11 seems to have issues for some people in terms of performance. I'm seeing stuff here, stutters and pauses, like the sim will pause for 2 or 3 seconds. Any time I fly anywhere near a city, or not even a city, just a town with more than a church on the main street, and the sim will just pause. I've actually lowered my settings. Nothing else has changed hardware-wise, and I'm hearing that other people are sort of experiencing the same thing. There is something going on, and it's frustrating. Particularly when you get those pauses right in the flare, which I have experienced. It really does just leave a bad taste in the old trap. Runway 05. What did I say before? It was 05 right, not 23 left. I'm getting all confused. Don't pay attention, folks. Don't listen. Just watch. Let's put it on mute. It'll help. So, we've got local barra set, we've got flaps set. I'll just zoom that out a little bit on that display. So it looks like we've got a right-hand turn towards Brook, which is about 7 miles away in a southeasterly direction. Altitude selected. I think everything's good to go, right? Pretty much. We've got some lights happening, landing lights on, strobe lights can come on. We've got some internal lights happening. Strobe's on, please. Everything else should be right to go. Let's do it. Runway is clear. Take off. Alright. That should be just about takeoff power set. We're not on the center line. We over-torqued it. Let's bring that back. Keep it under 100. A little bit of breeze, quick acceleration up to rotation speed, which is about here, and off we go. Off we go. A little bit less right boot power. Positive rate and all that, gear can come up. Got an aircraft overflying the field in a rather distracting way. And up through 115 knots. We'll go flaps up at this point as well. Let's fly it in balance. Basically just tracking the runway center line for a bit, accelerating through. We are heavy. We've got about 80% fuel and 7 packs. This is an FS economy run. Down to Queenstown today, earning a little bit of virtual coin along the way. About 500 feet, what we'll do is go yaw damper on, flight director, autopilot. Let's fly heading hold for a minute. Flight level change even, and we'll sort of climb out at about 170 knots up towards our cruise of flight level 260 today. In a right-hand turn out onto track, heading of about 180 to intercept, something like that. Thanks, Georgie. And away we go. Fantastic situational awareness with these this avionics, hey. nice and clear as well. Like I can read everything. That's what I like. Just got to get punch up through this weather. We're going to get chucked around a little bit. We've got a pretty strong northerly here, blowing at close to 30 knots. We'll punch up through the cloud. 260 should have us above it, and hopefully nice smooth flying conditions on the way down to Queenstown. There we go. There's Brook. We'll sort of head 180, then take a yeah, we might go direct to Brook actually. So come back over here. Flight plan. Brook. Plug Brook in. Bang. Nav mode. Direct Brook. There we go. Take a little bit of a shortcut. Get that zoom level right. I'm happy with that. And we are safely away. So folks, it's yeah, forecast just over sort of 2 hours or so worth of flying as we clear through the first layer of cloud. There we go. That's nice, eh? Not too bumpy. I thought it'd be worse than that. Yeah, so quite a long flight, but you won't have to suffer through a video of that length. En route in the cruise, probably somewhere over the sort of South Island. I might do a bit of a year in review thing, for what it's worth, just because we've got time. And this is the last video of the year, I think, and possibly the last video for a little while. Might do a bit of a simming year in review for the old fella, just to fill a bit of time. Anyway, I'll join you for that bit. Welcome aboard. I think we're almost at 2.6, aren't we, Georgie? 2.4.5. Almost there. We're going all right. We've got a nice bit of tailwind in that crosswind, mostly crosswind, but we're going all right. We're tassing 257, grounding at 277. So yeah, there's a tailwind component to it. Well above the weather at this time, and I think things are looking good for a southerly run today down towards Queenstown. I'm certainly hoping so. We get a nice good look at the Alps once we get closer to Queenstown. Absolutely fantastic flying into there. So yeah, I mentioned earlier a bit of a year in review just because I can, and I've done a little bit of homework. You might be surprised. I certainly am. But it kind of helps when you want to recap the year with sort of numbers and data. You kind of need to go and get the numbers and data, don't you? Anyway, YouTube tells me that this will be the 97th video that I've published this year when it goes live. 97. Almost a century. The old fella got a snick through to the slips in the nervous 90s, and he'll depart on 97 for 2022. Of those 97 videos, and look, I appreciate that this may be of no relevance to anyone other than myself, but it's my channel. It's the last video of the year. I've got the numbers. Might as well talk. Of those 97 videos, I'll jump back outside for you and give those of you that don't want to listen, you can just feel free to put me on mute. The missus does that on a regular basis. She'd love if I had a mute button, but she just simply leaves. Like, not just leaves the room, leaves the house. I mean, it's, talk about putting someone on mute. Of the 97 videos, as I was saying, 89 of them have been in this sim. Only 8 have been X-Plane videos, and I haven't done an X-Plane video in quite a long time. You may have noticed. I haven't until like a few minutes ago. I have not flown in X-Plane for yonks. And this is from someone who has a pretty long association with X-Plane. I don't want to go into the whole reason why, because there's not really much of a story. Cost is one. I can't afford to be kind of running multiple sims and trying to, keep up with payware that may take my fancy in both sims. I just can't anymore. I can't even afford X-Plane 12. Well, I could, but I can't justify it. I mean, it's whatever it is, $60 or $70 US, and then whatever it is in the cross rates for what is still a beta, X-Plane 12, still in beta. I did download the trial of X-Plane 12, and I've got to say, it disappeared from my hard drive very quickly. That was early on in the beta run. I wasn't impressed. And yeah, as someone who was really looking forward to it, and someone who has a long association with X-Plane, all the way back to version 8, I think it was version 8. Yeah, it was surprising to me, and haven't touched it since. So I think I've kind of crossed over in more ways than one. I think I've become a Microsoft simmer almost exclusively. I still have X-Plane 11 installed, still have all those aircraft that I've enjoyed, but I just don't have the desire to go back to it. Which really surprised me. I guess I'm just enjoying it over here in the Microsoft Sim world too much, and it's good enough for me. Nothing wrong with that, eh? Anyway, 97 videos for the year. The vast majority of them being in this sim, and I have enjoyed making most of those videos. Some that I haven't enjoyed as much, and there's some that I've enjoyed more than others. And in sort of reflecting on that, there's a couple of videos that kind of stand out as favourites to me. There's one that I did recently where I flew, I think it was the Cessna 310 around Lake Winnebago? And that one had some personal meaning. Watch the video if you are so interested in what that meaning was. Enjoyed that one. I think I enjoy stuff that has some sort of, I don't know, that meaning to me personally, that sort of resonates with me. That's what I enjoy. I also made one where I flew in the right seat of a DA-40. It was an instructor tribute. Again, had personal meaning to me. I forget the name of the character. Oh no, of course I can't forget. It was Joshua, not Josh, that I flew with. I think we flew into Queenstown. I so often do. An instructor tribute flight. I enjoyed that one because it brought back a lot of memories. I think that's the key. There's a personal connection and there's memories, and I get to relive stuff that really matters to me. And be able to share that in a sim on YouTube with a bunch of internet people. There's something special about that. But I enjoyed most of the videos. I enjoy this thing. I wouldn't do it if I didn't. The day I stopped doing it. The day I stopped enjoying it, it's the day I stopped doing it. It's that simple. I guess in terms of favourite aircraft, I've been asked that a few times. Favourite aircraft? You're looking at it, folks. Yeah, I know. Stock aircraft in the sim. With the mod. But essentially the stock aircraft, and with all the payware and all the freeware that's been released, this one is probably my favourite. I've really come to enjoy. I just enjoy it. It has range, it has capability, it has speed, it's a nice money earner in FS economy, which is where we are today. I've made a significant amount of money purchasing this aircraft up in India, I think it was, and then flying it down to Australia, and then flew it over in Australia, and then I brought it over here actually someone else brought it over here to New Zealand. That wasn't the plan, but anyway, I've kept it sort of over here, and now make it available to those of you that have joined the FS Economy group. And there's a video a recent video where I basically outlined an offer, which some people took up, and I hope you're enjoying that opportunity, gents. Certainly the group is paying out a significant amount of money in pilot fees, or what's the word? Is it pilot fees? Yeah, 100. Basically, you join the group, you get 100% of the income. And I think we've paid out over 200k to group members in like a month or something like that. So it's been getting used, and this is one of the aircraft that you have access to. 100% pilot fee. I pay the fuel and the ground crew fees, whatever they're called, booking fees and maintenance and all that sort of stuff, and you just pocket 100% of the coin. But yeah, the TBM 930 I would say is probably my favourite. I mean, other notable mentions, if you're interested, I do like the Chancellor, the Cessna 414, and that's featured in plenty of videos on the channel during the year. I've been part of that journey since early in the beta, and still being actively updated. I think it's version 3.4.3 or something now, which I got an email about. I'll have to install that. I do enjoy that aircraft. It's got character. The Cessna 310, I was a bit of a late arrival to it. I enjoy that. The Milviz or Blackbird Cessna 310, again, character, GA, love it. I love the Stearman, the Boeing Stearman, stick and rudder stuff, DC Designs. Got that on a sale, and yeah, I got tremendous value out of that. Really enjoyed flying it. I know I won't be popular with this statement, but I don't mind Carenado's V35 Bonanza. For all of its sort of shortcomings, and I think the sounds are one. It's a bit ordinary, the old sounds. I wish it had a decent sound set. But I actually like Bose, and I like the V-tail Bose, and I like it. What can I say? The Beaver, released in the 40th anniversary edition. That's a nice view there of a volcano in the distance. I like the Beaver. Who doesn't like beavers, right? And I think, in terms of the heavies, and I know I may not win any friends with this comment either, I don't mind the PMDG 736. I've enjoyed that. I've got really good value out of that. Value purchase, that's one of my better ones. Put a lot of hours in that thing, and it's good. I know the Phoenix has its fans. I don't have it. I have no interest in picking it up. The other heavy that I would mention, and we are so fortunate, fly-by-wire. They're A320, what's that? A32, what's it called? The Neo, that thing. Just been updated again, the stable release point 0.91 or something like that, I think. Wow, what a fantastic collaboration that's been. And yeah, really enjoy flying that one as well. Freeware, it's got to be the premier freeware aircraft in any sim ever, doesn't it? I mean, maybe that's a bit too big a call. I don't know. I think it's great. So they're the favourites, I think. There's been a lot of aircraft released, a lot of payware. Some of them I've featured on the channel. I don't purchase a lot. I'm not this guy who has the means or the desire to purchase every add-on that gets released and make a video out of it. There are plenty of content creators that do follow that model. Good luck to them. It's not for me. So there's a lot that I've missed out on. But yeah, this is the one that I keep coming back to. This humble default aircraft. I've put hundreds of hours on the thing, and enjoy it every single time. And that's what simming should be about. Enjoyment. Fly whatever you want. If you only fly one aircraft every single time you fire up the sim, and you enjoy it, keep doing it. keep bloody doing it. Life's too short. Enjoy it. Sim how you want to sim. Just make sure you enjoy it. If you're not enjoying it, you're doing it wrong. Anyway, folks, that's my year in review for what it's worth. I'll let Georgie do his thing. We're just riding some waves here. Let Georgie do his thing, and we'll make our way in an ever southbound direction towards Queenstown, and I'll see you for an approach and landing into Queenstown. But before we get to the approach segment, there is a very important segment that I want to include in this video, and it involves you, the viewing audience of this video and of this channel. I want to say a very big thank you to you all, to people who have been brave enough to click the subscribe button and who keep coming back. It takes courage, it takes intestinal fortitude, it takes a certain je ne sais quoi to come back for more punishment in these videos, and I want to say thank you for doing so. I want to say thank you for the support that you've provided via your comments into the videos. I've also received stuff on Discord, also email via the website as well, and almost to a man, 99% of the interactions have been very positive and supportive. The kindness that people have shown to an old fella who's sometimes, how do I put it? Sometimes wonders why he's doing this. It is very much appreciated. There's been a couple of, well, there's been more than a couple actually. I say 99% have been supportive. The sort of 1%, I don't know who the people are that have, well, really just been dickheads, and I'll probably leave it at that. You get, look, the world is made up of many different souls, and some people seem to find it necessary to contribute negativity, and I'm reticent to use the word hate, but there's been some pretty vile stuff, and you hear about this, from celebrities, right? I'm not, please be clear, I'm not equating myself to a celebrity. I'm just saying, we hear from celebrities about all the haters and how tough it is to be recognised, and they get abused and all that sort of stuff. Well, if you have a YouTube channel, if you create content, you kind of put it out there, and there's a risk that some people will perhaps not like it, which is perfectly okay. But there's also people that take it further than that. In fact, they take it too far. And I'm an old fella. I've seen some shit in my time. I've come across plenty of dickheads in my life, and I like to think that I'm pretty resilient to it all. But I feel sorry. Feel for the people who are just trying to share their hobby with the world, with like-minded souls, just enjoying themselves, publishing stuff, only to have to deal with those dickheads. And I can imagine there are some people who take it to heart and are genuinely affected by it. Maybe they stop creating content. Maybe it goes further than that, and they actually, really take it personally and start to question themselves. That's the power of some of this hatred that goes around in the world. The ease at which it can be spread via this wonderful thing we call the internet. The point of this segment really was to express my sincere gratitude for I think we've got 1,600 odd subscribers to this channel. That's a small channel, right? But I tell you, I appreciate every single person, whether you subscribe or not. You're seeing these pauses come in. I was talking earlier about the performance in The Sim. Good to see I actually able to not feature it, but include it in the video. Got a nice big stutter and pause there. It's a small channel, but I like to think that it's a place for people to come and get a bit of entertainment, a bit of an escape. I've always said that. Receive comments that people enjoy the humour and the nonsense, and a lot of it is nonsense. I know it is. I don't take this stuff seriously, folks. I don't take myself too seriously. Life is too serious to be taken seriously. So I try and create an opportunity for people, like-minded souls, to escape real life and maybe have a laugh at my nonsense. And I do appreciate that when people show their appreciation for that, it really means a lot. And I guess this has been a long-winded way of an old man saying thank you. Right, folks, we're about 100 miles to the north of Queenstown at this time, getting ready for a descent. So for the next 5 or so minutes, we'll begin our journey towards terra firma. This is Lake Pukaki here. See, they've still got the wintry bug happening here on the Alps. It is December in the southern hemisphere. I wonder when our friends at Asobo are going to fix that. Anyway, we've got new avionics. We should be grateful for that, hey? Anyway, nice weather for our arrival into Queenstown. Looking like northeasterly blowing, pretty much straight down the strip. Arrival to 05. We'll fly an improvised approach, something I like to call the duck and weave approach, which means it's not something you're going to find published, but it does the job. We'll see you for that. Alright, Queenstown ahoy, folks. Fields down there, the city around the corner there, Lake Wakatipu out here. We're sort of going to we're heading at the moment towards the VOR, and we're going to sort of hang a right down here. And what did I say earlier about pretty good conditions for our arrival? We're going to duck down here, follow the Shotover River, and then Gorge Road, sort of around this hill, and then back onto runway 05. Not a published approach. Normally, they have you going further down and staying higher for much longer, out over the lake and then coming in this way. But improvised approach, folks, is the aim of the game. This is a shot over, so what we'll do is continue our descent. Just come back on that power. We're having quite a rough old ride down here. We're going to be going to end up a little bit high, I think. We are having quite the ride over the hills. I don't know what happened to the good forecast. There's the field, about 11 o'clock. We've got some showers in the area, as they say. The breeze looks like it's holding up to forecast. Getting all sorts of variation in the descent rate as we navigate the invisible waves of air over the hills. There's Queenstown. Huge pause before. Felt like about 5 minutes. It was probably 5 seconds, but yeah, expecting probably another one or two and probably a stutter or two as we touch down just for good measure. Shotover River, here we go, the famous one. Beautiful part of the world. Queenstown, New Zealand. Love it. I should go give Georgie a break, autopilot off, yaw damper off, flight director off. We'll hand fly this bit. So I call it the duck and weave. Duck and weave because you normally have to duck under the low cloud around here, and the weave because you weave your way around along the river and then along Gorge Road, and then hang a lefty and head for 05. We've got our speed under control, which, as I mentioned at the start of the video, which feels like a long time ago, it was just about 2 hours ago, for me anyway. Speed controls become a little bit more challenging with the removal of the mod. There's the field there. We're doing okay. We've got our speed at 150 knots. I'm pretty happy with 150, 160 along here. No need to worry about sort of getting configured as such too early. We're going alright. Flying this approach a few times over the years in various sims. I've got to say, this is easily the most realistic rendition of Queenstown I've ever seen. Absolutely fantastic. Custom freeware version of the airport as well. There'll be a link to that in the description. There'll be a link to the payware Auckland as well. Here we go. Here's the sort of the Gorge Road there. We'll kind of head down in here. Beautiful, eh? Look at that. Magic stuff. Don't want to get too much lower. I sort of like to be sort of out of here making the left-hand turn at about 2,000. Maybe a little high on the plan, but not too bad. We're all good. How well is this represented, hey? Loving it. Nice way to end the final video of the year. He says in advance of probably screwing the landing. Well, that's okay. We might take flap here. Golf course comes into sight. We head over the town of Queenstown. You're getting pretty significant sort of variation in that vertical speed, aren't we? We'll take gear as we make the turn. A little bit of left boot required, pal. We get around the corner. It's a fairly steepish turn. Line ourselves up for 05. Speed's good. Slowed right down now. We're all good. Maybe a little bit low. We'll be scaring the residents of Queenstown at this point. We are a little bit low. Need to correct. Correcting. There we go. So we've got to cut that corner a little bit fine. Yeah, a little bit low now. Introduce just a little bit more juice. Get us back on profile. It looks like that wind's going to hold up for us though. There we go. The duck and weave into 05 here at Queenstown. Need to get ourselves slowed down now. With that speed, we've let that go. Let that get away from us. It's very difficult to slow down. Doesn't want to bleed off at all. Going to hold that descent rate for a bit. Get into the wide arc. Get some flap out. As soon as we get into the wide arc, which is there, final flap. Let's go. Runway 05. Have we got something on the strip? Looks like it. Continue the approach. I hear from the imaginary tower. He looks like he's moving, is he? Or is that just my wishful thinking? Well, it could be wishful thinking. Oh, she's a bit stuttery coming in here. We're in trouble if that aircraft doesn't move. We've got our speed right. Down to about 90 knots. That's where I wanted it. That aircraft needs to depart. Or we may be going around the final video of the season. Gonna live dangerously here a little bit. Alright, we're gonna have to go around. So full power, away we go. Gears can come up as we do so. Well, over talked it a tad. Get some flap up as well. We're going to fly the duck and weave a second time. Or will we? No, we won't. Here we go. We're going to fly an even more improvised approach. We're going to head out to the right, steepish turn. Going to keep one stage of flap out. We'll head out here for a bit. We're going to do a bit of a bit of a teardroppy type thing. That's a steepish turn, isn't it? Don't try this at home, folks. This is the other river, the Kawaru River. No, I think I've got that pronunciation incorrect. Starts with K, I know that. Like Wakatipu. Righto. We busted through the flap speed, I reckon, there. 170. We're in trouble. You heard me say that a few times. Here we go, along the shoreline. Towards the golf course. How not to fly and approach into Queenstown. I don't want to go too far. 2-2 is our altitude. Alright, I'm going to take gear. Come back around. Fighter jet approach. Around we come. What's 60 degrees between friends? Take final stage of flap once we get into the wide arc. Runway in sight. Calling it. 2 whites, well, we were 2 whites, 2 reds. Power off. Get that into the wide arc. Retrim. 2 whites, 2 reds now. We still have an aircraft on the strip, don't we? So that whole process was for nothing. We have got an aircraft disabled on the strip. Right. We have another option. We're going to land long. That's what we'll do. We're going to land long. Keep the speed where we need it to be. About 90 knots is fine. He looks like he's disabled on the strip. He's not even facing down the runway. Oh boy. A unique challenge for the final video of the season. Here we go, folks. Runway 05, Queenstown, New Zealand. Try and get it reasonably close to the centre line, pal. There we go. Alright. Onto the brakes, onto the brakes. Get off of this first taxiway on the right hand side. We could have done that the first time, I hear you saying. Yeah, but that would have taken away the opportunity to do a 60-degree bank turn onto final. Hey, you don't get that opportunity very often. Folks, can I just say thank you for your company in another video. And thank you for your company throughout. Well, 2022 has been the longest decade of my life. Thank you for your company throughout 2022. I hope that this festive season, no matter how you celebrate it, no matter what you're doing, that you do it safely and you do it in good health for you and yours. And yes, may you have plenty of love, laughs, and liquor this festive season. Not necessarily in that order. Folks, on behalf of Jude, Joshua Not Josh, Lily, and all the crew here at the channel, Merry Christmas and bye for now.